Welcome back to another week of my mounting yard preview. My name is Bella Anderson. I'm Betfair's mounting yard analyst, and this Saturday we're racing at Sandown. Great to be on track at Sandown. It's one of my favourite race courses. I really do feel like every horse gets their chance, and particularly good viewing for the mounting yard as well. Once again, I'm going to be on track for Betfair, so make sure you're following Betfair's social media and mine as well, so you can get the live mounting yard mail, the tip sheet that comes out a few minutes before the jump with the live updates on how the horses have paraded. But today's preview is just a little bit of a snippet into my database and what I expect to see from horses, and also what's normal for some particular horses who have some little quirks in the way they walk around the yard. Race 2 is a benchmark 78 for the 3-year-old fillies over the 1300 metres, and there's one particular runner I'm really looking forward to seeing returning to the races, and that is Extra 2 from the Mar Eustace stable. Really liked what I saw from this girl on debut. She returned a winner first up, she's second up here, and I can't wait to see the manner in which she's come back. I think she could be a really progressive filly, so looking forward to seeing Extra 2 return to the races. Jenny Jerome and Free Willed have both been parading well their last few, so I'm sure once again they'll be looking in tip-top order. And Vagrant, she is a horse that there's not a whole lot to look at. She's quite a lean, petite little girl. She doesn't have a huge amount of strength or substance to her, but completely normal for her to be on the smaller side. Race 4 is a benchmark 70 for the mares over the mile, and a few really important notes for this field. Arctica, she's only second up, but she's had 4 weeks between runs, so her fitness on race day is certainly going to be a question mark for mine, so stay tuned for an update on Arctica's fitness levels. Frigid is a horse I've really liked both parades this prep. She has a tendency to get a little bit toey, and that's no concern. She performs well when she does parade on her toes. Lady Adelaide is the interesting runner in this field for mine. I was a huge fan of her last prep. I had her on top on numerous occasions. She was presenting an outstanding order, but the way she's come back in this time has been a bit of a question mark for me. I've seen her look better. She's just not looked in her best possible way. She's presenting below her best, and I'm looking to see a really improved parade from her because I know she can look better. Gentility is a horse who has been getting really warm her last few parades. She's been getting quite above herself, quite toey, quite worked up. She's had to have 2 strappers. They're her 2 most recent parades, and she's underperformed on both of those occasions. So Gentility is a horse I'm going to be looking to see not getting warm, because I think that's when we'll see the best from her. And Game Girl, she's a really intriguing one. Third up, when I saw her, she was warm and toey and above herself. She won on that occasion, so I thought, great, this must just be normal for Game Girl. But last start, she was completely relaxed. She didn't get warm at all. Different horse, and she also won on that occasion. So interesting to see which Game Girl shows up on Saturday, but either way, we know she performs well regardless. Race 6 is a benchmark 78 over the mile as well, and Mutamani, the current favourite in the market, I saw him on his Australian debut, and he's a really appealing staying type. He showed the most important signs that he'd acclimatised. He's obviously a UK import, and what I look forward to see if a horse is acclimatised is their coat and their behaviour. He had a really nice, healthy summery coat on him with a really good, rich colour, and he was also really nice and relaxed in his demeanour, both signs that he had acclimatised and settled into his new home here in Australia. He also won with fitness improvement to come. I thought he was quite soft on that occasion. He didn't have a whole lot of muscle definition, so I'm really interested to see the improvement he's taken from that run, and I think it's really exciting as well when a horse does win first up with improvement to come, because it just shows there's more in stall from a fitness point of view and that he's got more to offer. Aradonte, he has been hard fit, parading spot on his last few outings, so Saturday I expect no different from Aradonte. Flash Feeling, he's still an entire, so he can get a little bit above himself occasionally, parading warm and toey sometimes, and this is okay to a certain extent. I just don't want to see anything too dramatic from him. Bigaloni can also parade toey, that's no concern from him, and Pitchinun is another galloper who's a free sweater, so it's completely normal to see him get a little bit warm pre-race. Race 7, once again over the mile and for the 3-year-olds, and want to start with Elkington Road. I've seen him plenty of times and seen him get warm on a few occasions, and he's underperformed when he's gotten warm and a bit above himself in the mounting yard. So I'm going to be looking to see Elkington Road not getting warm and conserving all of his energy pre-race. Unseen Ruler, she's a really hot mare. She gets really above herself, toey in the mounting yard, worked up. She barely does a lap of the yard. She goes straight out onto the track. So if you want to have a look at Unseen Ruler, make sure you look at her as soon as she enters the yard because she does not spend much time parading at all. They basically meander her around the barriers by herself just to keep her as relaxed as possible so that she performs best that way. Golden Path, he's a really interesting horse for mine. He's having his second career start and I actually laid him on debut when he won on that occasion. I completely misread the horse and it's going to be interesting to see what improvement he's taken from that debut run. He was quite a small, petite horse. There's not a lot of strength and substance to him. He's quite narrow. I feel like he's probably definitely got some physical maturing to come, but at this stage in his career, he's definitely on the lighter, smaller side, and he did have fitness improvement to come as well. On type, he definitely looks like a progressive stayer just due to that small, more athletic physique, so the rise in distance is definitely going to suit with Golden Path. Whereas Lethal Thoughts, Castilian, Beltil and Hellfire are all horses whose most recent parades I've liked. Fitness is no concern for them, they're really straightforward. Race 8 is a benchmark 84 over the 1300 metres and I can already tell that this mounting yard is going to be an absolute lottery. It's going to be totally dependent on who catches my eye on the day because 9 of the 13 runners in the field have looked outstanding their last few parades. They've all been hard fit, consistently parading well, and my notes in the database have just said liked, looked good, nothing wrong, faultless, hard fit. So 9 of the 13 are going to be looking good. And for me, there's a really intriguing runner who is in the market, and that's Pacific Ruby. She's first up, and she's the one I'm most looking forward to assessing because she is the one that's got the question mark on her. Having seen her at most of her career starts, I pretty much know what to expect and what I'm going to see from her. She's previously been quite petite. She's quite lightly framed as well. There's not a whole lot of her, and that basically means she's quite easy to get fit because she doesn't carry a huge amount of condition in the first place. So I expect her to be parading quite forward, but I'm also interested to see if she has grown physically because like I said, she was quite small in her previous campaign. So any physical maturing from her and her fitness levels first up are going to be the interesting ones for Pacific Ruby. Lucky last, race 9 over the 1800 metres and only 2 runners with important notes in this one, and the first of those is Alvedon. Seen him plenty of times throughout his career and only once have I seen him get really toey and really worked up, and on that occasion he drastically underperformed. So with Alvedon going forward, always looking to see him nice and relaxed and conserving his energy as that is when he performs his best. The other runner, Normandy Bridge. 2 starts ago I saw him, he was quite keen in the mounting yard. He had 2 strappers. He's a big boy. He likes to push his weight around and show who's boss, but he doesn't get warm, and that's the main thing. He just gets a little bit full of himself, which is totally okay because you just don't want to see anything too above himself when you get to these sorts of trips. So they're the only 2 for that lucky last race. That's it for this week's mounting yard preview. Hopefully you learnt a few key notes about some of the runners in the market at this stage and what to be looking for in the mounting yard on Saturday, as well as what I'll be looking for as well with certain runners and how they typically parade and what's normal or abnormal for them. Make sure you stay tuned to Betfair and I's social media as well to get the live mounting yard updates on Saturdays. Like I said throughout the preview, some horses' parades are going to be really crucial on Saturday, particularly the first race for the 2-year-olds.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.